Hey, welcome back, y'all. Welcome to Tao of Suzuki. My name is Zach. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new here, welcome back. I want to start by apologizing. I wanted to get this video up on Friday, but I had my son on the weekends, and making content is not an immediate priority while I've got him. So I always get them up, but I apologize for the delay. However, let's get into this topic that I mentioned about masculine self love or male self love. I know that self love is a huge, hot button topic, and I know I talk about it a lot here, but I want to actually break that down and talk about it in relation to guys, younger guys, middle aged guys, however that connects for you. I want to actually make this something that's accessible and simplified in a way that doesn't involve spirituality, doesn't involve much besides allowing yourself to build upon a very simple structure, build a foundation that becomes something great for you and allows you to turn it into something completely unique to yourself, that you can reconnect with yourself, feel more fulfilled personally as yourself without external validation, without outside things being how you feel fulfilled or loved. That being said, let's get into this. Self love, I think, gets misconstrued sometimes. If you've ever seen Parks and Recreations, they have a treat yourself day. That show's hilarious, but it's a bad example of self love. It's not about just going out and buying yourself things, especially as a guy. Self love often gets described as bubble baths and self indulgence, and it's not always like that, unless you're really into bubble baths, and I don't mind them. Either way, here's 5 simple ways that I think you can incorporate self love based on my experience and conversations, feedback I've got from friends and people I've spoke to about this. 1, start small and start realistic. When I say that, start your day small and realistic, but with something that embodies setting the tone for your day. If that means you start a simple fitness routine for yourself, if you start a simple adjustment to your hygiene or your cleanliness, maybe you want to make sure that your bed is made, you don't leave dishes in the sink. These are very simple, almost mundane seeming things that show you care for yourself, show yourself that you want to come home to you want and deserve to come home to something tidy. You want to take better care of yourself, and you deserve that as well. Start a simple, easy adjustment to your morning routine if you already have one, or start a new one. That will set the tone for your day and allows for you to build upon that. Second thing, challenge your inner critic. When I say challenge your inner critic, whatever that voice is inside your head that tells you that you've made a mistake and then it's hard on you about it, or that you're opting to do something, you have a decision in front of you, and that critic is telling you you don't deserve it, you won't succeed at it, or that it's not worth it. However that dialogue comes up in your mind, challenge that inner critic. Take that opportunity, whatever the circumstance is, whatever the situation is, and flip that. If you did make a mistake and you're being hard on yourself about it, tell yourself that you're not perfect and that you're working on that. This is not about blithely accepting drastic mistakes, but it is about being compassionate with yourself. It's also about telling yourself that you do deserve to try better at things that maybe you did fall short for in the past. No matter what that inner critic is telling you, don't listen to it. Try to change how you respond to it. No matter what the initial portion of that conversation is, how it starts out, whether it's you don't deserve it, you won't succeed at this, you messed that up, your response, the thought that you follow that with, should be or can be, I can do this better, I can adjust this, I do deserve this, and I'm working towards that. These are all realistic, much healthier, much more caring, compassionate ways to talk to yourself. Challenge your inner critic. That's number 2. Number 3 is to practice mindfulness. Meditate with yourself. This is not just about shamans or yogis, not the bear. It's not about gurus and meditation. But if you're new to it, you're not even sure where to start, set aside a small amount of time for yourself, 5 minutes even, to sit in silence with your thoughts. This is not about blocking them, and it's not about reframing them or trying to eliminate those thoughts. What you are trying to do is sit with them, feel them, think them, and release them. Let them come and go, and don't allow yourself to have to feel or think a certain thing about them. You can allow a lot of space in your head and in your heart emotionally to go by sitting with those thoughts and those emotions, even if it's just for 5 minutes. The great thing about meditating and being mindful of what your thoughts and your emotions are in the moment or for the day is that you could do it as many times throughout the day at any given point in time that you may need. If the middle of your day starts to feel hectic, you can step away from whatever's going on, or at the most convenient time that you can step away, put yourself in a situation where you can get quiet, sit undisturbed, and meditate for a moment. Maybe that sounds crazy, but you'd be surprised how much that can recenter you into a place that doesn't feel as chaotic. And then that way you don't have to go immediately back out and respond from that chaotic energy or with that chaotic energy. You also don't have to carry it much further into your day. Mindfulness and meditation is very easy to start. It's very easy to misunderstand what you're supposed to do. But it's not about becoming someone else's thoughts or emotions. It's simply about sitting with yours exactly the way that you are, how you are right then in that moment. That's number 3. Practice mindfulness and meditation. Number 4, set realistic goals for yourself and try to steer away from superhero syndrome. Maybe that sounds silly, but set small, realistic goals for yourself, not massive superhero type aspirations for yourself. The transformation or the changes that you're trying to implement into your life, I stuttered through that, implement. Anyways, the transformation and the changes that you're trying to bring into your life do not have to be huge, and they do not have to happen overnight. Oftentimes, if you bite off more than you can chew by setting this massive goal for yourself or this massive change that you want to make, and then leaning into it really hard and burning yourself out, sours your taste. And now you don't want to do it anymore. Now all of a sudden that self-critic is coming back and telling you you aren't good enough for that. So you can avoid that scenario by setting smaller, broken down goals or broken down mileposts for these things. Instead of saying that you want to have your dream physique in 6 months if you started going to the gym, set a realistic goal that you want to go to the gym 3, 4 or 5 times in a week, or you want to go several times every week for a month. However that feels easiest for you, set that goal. That way, when you've checked that off your list, it doesn't feel like a loss because you didn't get to the end, because you set that huge 6-month goal. Set the small goal. You'll surprise yourself with how good that actually will feel to be able to check that off your list. You don't have to aim for it to be perfect, but you can aim for progress. Chip away at a big goal in small increments. Set realistic small goals, not superhero syndrome. That's number 4. Number 5 coincides with number 4, and that's celebrate the wins that you get, whatever they are. If you are setting small, realistic goals for yourself that are attainable but require a little bit of effort, you're going to really appreciate those wins. And when you do, give yourself credit for them. Celebrate them. Be proud of those moments. To even further reinforce that, write them down, journal them, keep a record of them, and when you do, write the date, whatever the goal was, and then write how it made you feel that you succeeded in that, no matter how small it is. You'll start to see that as you make these lists, as you write down the things that you've accomplished, how that made you feel. Once you've gotten it on paper, you've further kind of cemented that in to your core as far as the progress you're making, the goals you're achieving are attainable, they're within your means, and now you do feel like further bigger goals will be more attainable and closer to reach. This is a long-term pathway that you can tread down, that you can set a really sustainable momentum towards by celebrating those small wins. That's number 5. Be proud of yourself. Celebrate those wins, no matter how small. As a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned, the smaller, the better, because they stack easier. You start to actually build your confidence. You build your track record with yourself of, I knew I could do that. I knew I can do more than this. And then you keep going. Before you know it, you'll be surprised at how good you feel about yourself. And not in an egotistical, cocky way. In a way that is shown, proven to you, thanks to your own work. Those are the 5 steps that I think any guy, any male, can incorporate self-love into his life at any point, regardless of where you're starting, or regardless of what your previous conception of self-love was or is. I think these 5 things could potentially change your life. They've changed mine. They've changed the lives of people around me that I've spoken with about this. And if you start with this, I'd be interested to know how it changes yours. Another beautiful thing about this is those 5 things are not mandatory in the long term. They can grow and they can evolve with you, and you can change them into whatever you see fit. And you'll start to find the new ways that you want to adjust that for yourself the longer that you commit to it, because you'll find the new things that work for you, and you'll feel confident enough to adjust what works best for you and what doesn't. This is a foundation that you can build upon. And I look forward to getting feedback from y'all. If you try this, leave me a comment, let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. And as this stuff evolves, we'll post more of these. Maybe we can actually make one with your feedback, and I'll post it on here for y'all, for anybody new. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed that. If you did, hit that like button below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Keep up with these. I'm going to keep making them. I'm going to keep coming back. Thanks for sending them. Anyways, thanks for spending a little bit of time with me tonight. Sorry, that was a tongue twister. This was enjoyable, y'all. I hope it was helpful. I look forward to seeing y'all again. Let's talk soon. Bye.